Hey everybody, welcome to our very first live broadcast. This is my first time, and just a full disclosure, first time going live on YouTube. And so I'm in the learning curve. I've got my trusted producer here who's showing directions, and I will disclose this to you. There is a light in my face that is so bright I can barely see him. So if I miss a direction, he might have to come on by and help out. But I'm going to wait just a couple of minutes and see who jumps on. And we've got some viewers, it looks like, coming on. So yay! Thank you for being here. I'm going to just kind of wait a minute or two. I'd love for you to give me a comment and say hi, check in. Yeah, just write in your comments. Let's see, we're here. Yes, Katie's here. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. Hi, everybody. And yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you for telling me I'm doing great. I have to kind of lean down a little bit to see the chat, so I hope you guys will forgive me for that. So I'm just going to kind of like mess around for a minute here. Hello. Thank you so much for coming on, Beverly. Yeah, we got people jumping on here, and you guys just give yourself a gold star right now. In my heart, I'm giving you like the biggest gold star ever. You are here from the beginning. You are part of the journey. You can tell the story that you knew me when, and we knew each other when, right? You're part of the journey. I'm so glad to be with you. And I'm just gonna, kind of goof around for a few minutes and tell you who I am. Those of you that may know me already, you know that I am Paula Bohland, and I am an expert real estate investor. And I've taken my experience of investing in real estate, more than 30 years in every kind of real estate. I can't even think of one kind of real estate that I haven't been involved in. I've taken that experience, and I am now coaching you and whoever else wants to be part of this, who wants to grow their real estate portfolio by 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, very, very quickly. That's what I specialize in. And many of you that are with me here right now know that I use flipping. Flipping real estate means that you buy a house, you buy it for less than the value that it would be on the market. You fix the house up, you make it beautiful, you make it stunning, you make it all the things, then you put it on the market and you sell it for a profit. And every single person, and this is really, really important, I want you to say yes when you hear this and all the things, or share your experience. Every single VIP person that I coach receives multiple six figures in profits in just a few months, within 3 to 6 months. Every single one of my VIPs. So because of that experience and because of what I know about real estate, I know I'm getting it right. I know I don't have any doubt that I can be with you, take away your risk, tell you what, what to look out for, tell you, where to go with this, tell you what to do next, take you literally by the hand, step by step, so that you have a great flipping experience. And moreover, what you're more interested in is, of course, building your community and using your creativity, but what? Making some money. Who's in for making some money, right? Who's in for a six-figure? Who's in for that? A six-figure return, right? So just today, I was out looking at properties, and I was looking, thank you, the hearts coming in. I was out looking for properties, and I was looking specifically for a client, on behalf of a client. We're talking back and forth. She doesn't live in the same town where we're looking. And by the way, you do not need to flip where you live. You can flip anywhere in the world, and by the way, I do flip anywhere in the world. So I was out looking for properties and found one. Found actually 3, and found one property that it's probably by now under contract. And because my client, I advised her to go forward with this, she is literally going to make 6 figures off the sale of this one home. And I think that's really interesting because it's not unusual for us. It is not unusual in my world. 6 figures from the sale of one home, from one flip, 50,000's the minimum I go for, right? And we'll talk about that a lot on this channel about what does that mean. But I hear a lot of feedback about, are there deals out there? I'm worried about there not being deals, that everything's so expensive. Well, my first answer to that is, if it's too expensive where you live, you can flip somewhere else. You can flip anywhere in the world. I've flipped all over the world. I'm flipping out. And then the other answer to that is, I can find the deals. You can find the deals. The deals are out there no matter where you live, no matter the area. I have so many deals going on right now that we have too many. And I think Beverly's on with me, my one of my team members, and she can verify that. We have so many deals. We don't have enough people to help everyone get them. So this idea that, everything's so expensive, you can't find deals, you can't find it, is a misnomer. I just want to say that. It's a big lie. So we'll talk about that in other shows. But really tonight, I wanted to sort of kick things off. I want to take questions. I want to answer questions. And I also want you to applaud yourself for being here tonight and to be part of this journey with me, like a real active part of my journey, our journey together. And so some of you are already in my VIP world. If you are a VIP with me, please type in VIP. I would love people to celebrate you and know that you are a VIP. And I'm trying to see the chat right now. I'm sorry to be looking down. Yeah, we need more investors. we got the deals. We just need the investors. Absolutely, Beverly says that. But all the VIPs that are following me right now or later, by the way, this live broadcast is available later. So if you're watching this, hit in replay, hit in the comments. I'm going to look at the comments. My producer looks at the comments, right? So I want to share with you first of all, why did I get into real estate? Here I am, 30 years of experience. I'm helping the people that I coach, supporting them step by step by step, literally taking them through no risk investing, literally no risk investing. Let's see. Oh yeah, Katie says she's a VIP double whoop. Katie's about to have her first project, so that's really, really exciting. And welcome, Katie. I'm so glad you're here. So anyway, I take investors through this process to 6 figures, usually your first flip, second flip, third flip. You're into multi-6 figures. And then we go looking for other ways to invest in real estate if you want to. And I just help you be successful and profitable and do it in a way you absolutely love. So I just want to do this, and it's really successful for everybody that I'm with. But how did I get into this? Why am I doing this? Well, you know, what's happening right now? Anybody in watching the stock market right now? Who's watching the stock market right now? The stock market right now is so volatile. I don't know what it's doing today because I've been out looking for a property, and I haven't been looking at it. And I rarely look at it, truthfully, because you know, I'm doing other things. But let's see what this is telling me. This stream's current, whatever. Something's going on about this stream, so I'm going to leave it alone. I'm not going to lose you. Anyway, so I'm out looking for, my producer's waving his, like, don't matter, don't worry about it. So we're out looking for properties. I'm not watching stocks, but back in, you know, several years ago, there was a change in the economy just like right now. And I was very heavily invested in stocks at that time. And every day I would watch, at that time stocks were really tanking out. And I would watch the stock market go down and down and down. Anybody having that experience right now? And anybody can feel me on that? And what happened was I was like feeling like a sinking ship. And I said to my husband at the time, we got to do something else because this is like going downhill fast. And he was like, oh yeah, stocks always come up. And then when it got to the place where I was watching my hard-earned money that I had put in and put in and put in deplete. It wasn't just the money I had made in the stock market. It was the hard-earned money that I had put in. It was depleting. And I said to him, you know what? Watching this plummet, watching this fall down, watching this ship sink is not an investment strategy. And I made a decision at that point to go ahead and invest somewhere else. And I literally turned my head and started, you know, we were already looking into real estate and all the things as an investment tool. And I went forward and I got a house and I flipped it. And I made $60,000 in profit from the sale of that house in just a few months, which is, you know, exactly what I teach my clients. And I thought to myself, this amount of money, this profit, this wasn't just like money that was returned to me. This was profit on top of what I invested. I said to myself, you know what? This is more money that I've made in the stock market in the last few years, and I don't need to worry about the stock market. And since then, I've been involved in real estate. And I think this is an ideal time for all of us to be thinking about the stock market may not be the only answer, and that real estate over time never, ever, ever totally tanks and loses its value. It may go down, but it always over, and it's been time memorial. I mean, in biblical times, people were investing in real estate, right? So it's been around, and it's always been a super tool. So those of you that are always, let's see what this says. Aldo says, yeah, well, watching the stocks, right? So it's always been around, and it's always been something that people relied on, and it creates wealth. It has always created legacies. It's always created a standard. So especially right now, if you're watching what's happening in the stock market, which Aldo just made a comment about that, you know, it's okay. It is okay to take some of that money. Maybe you leave some in. That's what I did. I ended up, because of my husband, I wanted to take it all out, but he was like, leave some in. I took some out. I diverted it. I, you know, invested in real estate, and I left some more in stocks. Now, I will tell you honestly, my stocks have never recovered. to the place where they were, ever. But my real estate investments have gone bananas, all right? And that's what I'm here to help you with. That's what I'm here to help you figure out. So I want to right now just take a minute, if you're really thinking, oh, this is really great, if you're watching this later, whatever, or you're watching it now and you're into this, you can get in touch with me. We'll put in the show notes how you can get in touch with me. And I'm always glad. You'll see, I love talking about real estate. I'm always glad to have a chat with you. I'm always glad to answer your questions. I'm always glad to see if it's right for you, right? Now, I do want to say one thing. You're going to see out there, like you're going to listen to me right now, there's a lot of monkeys in this world, a lot of monkeys in the real estate world. That's what I call them, monkeys, right? They're just walking around hooting and hollering, and they're making you promises, and that's why, you know, I get it. You don't necessarily want to trust me or other people because there's a lot of people out there saying stuff that's not true or making stuff up, right? And so I'm advising you, watch me, right? Play with me, watch me on Facebook, watch my lives, watch my posts, and see what you think about me. I don't want you to jump in now. If you want to have a chat with me, please do. It'll be in the show notes. But there's a lot of people out there that are telling you that you can go make, you know, $200,000 in 3 hours with no money. They're telling you things like that. I'm going to tell you that. If you're seeing things like that, it's very good to think of a red flag. You do need to have some money to be able to invest. Right? This is a business. I know that real estate is a business, and I help you build a real estate business, a very profitable business. It's probably the best business I've ever done in my life. I've been a coach for years and years and years, a business coach, all the things. But when I want to make money, it's always been my go-to, and I've always run a real estate business behind the scenes, and now I'm doing it in front of you. But when you start a business, what do you expect to do? You expect to invest, right? You get a return on your investment, and this is probably the best return on investment you'll get from real estate. But generally, you do need to have some money, okay? And if anybody's telling you, now you can figure it out with no money, but it takes a long time, and it's, you know, it's harder. So having some money is important. Okay, and so that's why I'm saying, you know, grab a little bit of the money out of the stock market, or, you know, whatever you got to do. Now, listen, there's a lot of people that I'm coaching right now. They have tons of money in equity in their home. And they're invading into that equity right now, and they're using it, because guess what's happening with the equity in your home if you're not using it? The banks are. The payment that you're making, the equity that you have, the banks are using it for, they're using it for leverage, all right? So you might as well access it and use it to invest and make money off of that money. You're probably going to make more, not even probably, you will make more in interest than you pay out for that HELOC. So there's a lot of, you know, but finding the money is important in this, to invest in your business, all right? So if you want to chat about real estate, you got a little pile of money sitting around, you're tired of watching stocks, or maybe you've invested even in crypto, totally fine, you know, great, but it's also volatile, whereas real estate is stable, all right? So here we are tonight. We're moving forward in this world of making multiple six figures. We're using real estate as the platform to do it. I'm your leader. I'm your coach. I'm the person who's going to be talking about it with you. I hope you'll continue to tune in. I hope you'll share this with other people. There's plenty out there. There's abundance of money, guys. And just because you make, you know, $1 million this year, or six figures this year, or whatever it is in real estate, there's plenty for other people as well. And many times you'll hear us talk about, and I'll do a show about it, is how do you go into a neighborhood and bring a neighborhood up and bring the prices up and make a lot of money in a neighborhood that maybe is not doing so well. Like multiple investors go in there in the same time. So you gaining and you doing well along with other investors doing well, is very cool. And most of my VIPs, all of my VIPs, are invested in doing that. That's who I am. I'm a team player, right? And I want you to be a team player. So what I'm thinking here is, why I'm saying this is, you know, open your mind to that. It's not just you against the world. It's you with everybody else, and share this. Share this information. Tell other people. Talk about other people that you're sitting around talking about. You're getting into real estate and all the things they want to know something. Share this channel, because they will be people that support you and will maybe come in with deals with you and all the things. The more they learn, the more you learn, you're going to be confident. And the more confident you are about how do you find a deal, how do you fund a deal, what do, where do you go, that is going to make you a shit ton of money. All right. So the more you tune in, the more confident you're going to be. The more questions you ask, the more confident you're going to be, right? So I'm going to just say, before I kind of, I'm open right now to go ahead and send me questions in the chat. I love answering your questions. I mean, I don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know, but just, there's no dumb question, right? If the only dumb thing is you don't ask what's on top of mind. But there's 3 top questions that I always get, so I'll address those right now. And if I don't get any other chats, you know, we'll go ahead and sign off for tonight, but I'm going to encourage you to watch this channel. Okay, so you guys are yelling yes at me. Somebody said, I want to make money. Yes. Is that a question or a statement, or what is that? I want you to make money. That is my goal. And thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that, because you, in this world, like, remember I said there's a lot of monkeys in this world, right? This real estate world. And you are going to encounter, even as you're making deals, even as you're finding properties, even as you're, you know, moving forward as the owner of this real estate business, you're going to encounter people that your best interest, that your profits is not what they're concerned about. They're more concerned about their profits. They're more concerned about making the deal. They're more concerned about, whatever it is, and it's not you. So this comment about I want to make money is why I love coaching real estate, because I'm the person who's in your court, who's in your world, that is all about super focused on your profits. This is not about my profits. It's not about selling you a house. It's not about selling you whatever it is. It's not about giving you insurance policy. It's not about writing you a loan. I am here 100% focused on you and your profits. And the reason that I do so well with my VIPs, and actually they do so well making money, and you want to make money, this is what you do, become my VIP. My VIPs, none of them have ever lost money. All of them make 6 figures in 3 to 6 months, more than 6 figures. And the reason is because I focus on them and their needs. I focus on you and your needs. And I make sure that you don't fail, that you take the next right step, that I take you by the hand. And that's really different than, some other things, some other programs that are out there where big, huge group programs, big, huge groups. I'm more of a person where I want to work with you individually, okay? This is why asking questions and saying all those things, in terms of what do I need to know about this, what do I need to know about that, will be really helpful, because I'm going to hone in on it. So you want to make money, bring it. I'm all about you making money. I'm all about you and your profits. Okay, so, any other questions? I'm going to tell you the top 3 things that I get asked all the time, and then we'll stop for the night. Just keep tuning in for the next show and the next show and the next show. Share this, like this, tell other people about it. And if you have some interest, really, truly, in coming in and chatting about real estate, chatting about your situation, chatting about your stocks, chatting about how much money I need, all the things, I'm glad to do that. And in the show notes, you can access me, okay? You'll see how to access me. So, top 3 questions is, how do I find a project? So, you know, a lot of my, just honestly, a lot of my, let me see what it says, and we have a team, yes, to fill in the gaps. Yes, thank you, my team member saying that. You are not just working with me when you work with me. I have an entire team behind me, and all of my 30 years of resources are yours. All of my team is yours. So when you're working with me, how do you find a deal? We help you find a deal. Often we find the deal for you. You also have access to my funding sources. You have access to my my expertise, of course. You have access to all that, and then we have a team behind you. Like, you just step in my world and you've got your own team helping you develop this real estate business. So number one is, how do I find a deal? Play with me, I'll help you find it. But you can also find deals in Zillow. You know, just looking on Zillow, looking on homes.com, you can find them. It's not, you know, some of my VIPs are really, really great at it, and they spend time looking at it, and they over and over and over again find things that gets them six-figure profits. So how do you find the deals? They're right in front of you. There's some techniques that I can share with you, and my team's here to help you. So that would be another conversation. The other is, I don't have enough money to do this. And most people, and how much money do I need to do this? Most people think that they need to be able to afford to buy the house out and out and buy the rehab of the house. That is not true. There are lenders, there are funders, there's ways that you can get funding to do your project. And you really, probably a first project, just honest, is you're going to need about 20% of the whole deal to bring to the table. So, you know, just be really honest, like 50, if you have $100,000 laying around or in your stocks, or you can get a hold of it in your, you know, your HELOC, or, you know, a refinance or something like that, you're golden. You've got 2 or 3 projects right there. $50,000 will be really easy for you. So, you know, having some resource is going to be helpful, right? And of course, you know, you want to hire me, right? As your coach. So that's part of that process as well too, is, you know, to invest in the coaching, which is really golden for you. Let's see, how do you get VIP status? I love that. So VIP status is you hire me as your coach, and you come into my program as a VIP. Which means you receive one-on-one coaching from me for at least 6 months. Okay, we work together for 6 months, and I help you get projects, I help you get funding, I help you do the whole thing. And we're not going to just do this once. We're going to do this as many times as we can. All right. Let me give you a story. I love stories. I don't know if you guys do, but I do. So I had a let's see. I have $5,000. Can I start with that? Could you start with $5,000? You know, let's have a chat. I can probably help you figure out how that you're not realizing how to make that $5,000 into more money. So if you're really interested in chatting about it, I can tell you that. We also might, you know, put you in, instead of my, you know, one-on-one coaching, and you could go into my mastermind and, you know, sort of like learn the techniques, or you could go in with somebody else. Okay, so how would you get started? Let me back up and let's be clear about this. You do need to have some money to get going. $5,000, you could find other investors to come in with you. Okay. You also could go in with other people that are already doing this, like some of the other VIPs. You could tap into your home equity funds if you have that. You could find other resources that you're not thinking about. So I think that would be a really super deal for you to sit with me and chat. I think the $5,000 is not like you can't do it. There's very many ways. I mean, where's some of my VIPs that we got really creative, right? We got really creative about how you find the money. And then what happens almost always is, once you open yourself up to this, the universe like blesses you. Like, there's all these things that come about that you never thought of. So don't start thinking about, I only have this, I can't. all right? If you really want to get into this, let's have a chat. I will say it makes it so much easier if you do have, you know, 50,000, 40,000, those kind of things. But it doesn't mean you can't do it. And your mindset, there's many ways, you know, playing with other people, all the kind of things, okay? So I wanted to answer that one. That's a really important one. And so do I have to have all the money to buy the house? No. How do I find deals? Zillow is a great source. You know, somebody down the street that's trying to sell their house, you know, those kind of things are sources. There's many, many different ways, and we will talk about that in coaching. Have a chat with me. I'll help you with that. And usually I get also the deal of how do I know what to do? Well, I'm going to tell you, if you don't get some help with this, I speak with literally almost every day people that have lost money in this world. They either bought into some program and they're in this big, you know, thing. And by the way, if you're playing on somebody's website or, you know, somebody who teaches this stuff and it's so complicated you can't understand it, like their way of doing it is really complicated, don't get involved. This is a very simple process, and sometimes these complicated situations are a great way to sell a program, but they're hard to figure out. I'm not saying they don't work. They might work for the person who used it, but the more complicated and the harder for you to understand it, how are you going to implement it, right? But getting going, having a coach and having the resources to, having somebody there that's giving you resources, giving you guidance, it's the best investment. I can tell you, any of my VIPs that join in now or later, weigh in on this, how valuable on a scale of 1 to 10 has having a one-on-one coach through this process been for you. Yes, you have to take the action like glue the feathers on after you jump. We do say sometimes in my world, now listen, I'm not going to let you out there by yourself. I'm going to be there holding your hand, I mean, especially in one-on-one coaching. I'm going to be there to talk through this. And we do say sometimes in my world, because you might find a project or something like that and you just got to dive in because it's perfect. And I'm going to tell you a story about that in just a minute. We do say sometimes that we're changing the tire while we're driving 80 miles an hour, because sometimes it can feel like that. But you want to move. Money loves speed. Write that down. Money loves speed. And the people that make the most money are the ones that do say, okay, that's a deal. Let's go. We're going to figure it out, right? Paula, come help me. Let's figure this out. Truly, money loves speed. And the times that I've messed up on projects, messed up in my life and all of that, is the hesitancy and the overthinking and the yabbit, right? So having that, and this is another reason to have like the coach, right? So you can bounce things off and not get yourself. Every single day, I do talk with people who have lost money in the real estate world. Either got in a big program or they just went out and tried to do it by themselves. The coaching relationship is really valuable, and that's what's going to help you make a lot of money. Truly, I absolutely know that. So let me tell you this story, and then we'll end. I had this person come to me, and you can go see this story in my Facebook feed if you want to, and please go follow me on Facebook, because this is where I post a lot of this stuff. I'm trying to get better about Instagram and TikTok, but you know, here I am, here and then Facebook, right? So this lady comes to me, and she and her husband were thinking about their retirement, and they wanted to have legacy. They wanted to have more money. They've always thought about real estate. They had no idea how to get into it, so they never did because they were just confused, which is very common. So they came to me. They decided to hire me. We had our first session, and I was leading them through a planning process, planning your business, how much money you want to make, those kind of things, which is what I do in one-on-one. We start out sort of looking at how big you want this to go. She came back to me and she said, you know what, we are such newbies in this, and we're, you know, whatever. We want to just sit back and learn for a while. We just want to learn. And so I was like, oh, are you sure? I mean, money loves speed. You know, you wanted the money, you want the legacy, are you sure? And she's like, yeah, we've got to make sure our financing is totally in place. We've got to make sure, you know, we feel like we're moving along at a place that we can handle. And so I was like, okay. And then the next week, what happens? Guess what happened? The universe, God, whatever you want to call it, sends this absolutely, I'm telling you, ding-dong perfect project. It was in the right neighborhood. The comps, and that's comparables, that means the stuff that's selling around it, super high. You could buy this thing way below, you know, what you needed to make a lot of money. I went to her and I was just like, you've got to take this deal. This is like, you know, a gift from, literally from God, from the universe. And she was like, I don't know what to do. I said, I do. I know exactly what to do. I will lead you through this. So she takes the deal, and she has no idea how to find financing. She has no idea how to, you know, run the budget, anything. So I take her step by step through this. And she still wasn't sure, but then we ran the budget. And by the way, I'll teach you how to run a budget. It's pretty simple, but we ran a budget on this project, and she saw in front of her 6 figures of profit. This is after her loan costs, after, you know, after all her, you know, investment, after, you know, all the things, 6-figure profit. And it's in an area where the comps on these houses keep raising in prices. So if by the time she's done, it may be even worth even more. So she comes in, she's like fully in now. She's like, this is more money than I've made in my salary, you know, when I worked. So I start taking her through this, and I literally, every step of the way, I gave her financing resources, helped her get insurance, all the things. Okay, this lady tomorrow is closing on this first deal. And she will, this is a one month project too, quick. In 1 month's time, she'll have multi-6 figures for her first project. Now, do you think she's interested in doing another one? Hell to the yes. Who said I need money? I want money. This is how we do it. Let's see what this says. How much for a one-on-one? You guys are grilling me tonight. I really need to have that chat with you, because how much one-on-one work we do and how we work together depends on how much resources, not resources, how much experience you've had. What you want me to do, because if I'm project managing this and you're living in another part of the country or another part of the world, it's going to be, you know, I'm putting in like a lot more effort for that, right? Generally, it would be $25,000 to work with me one-on-one for 6 months. And you can be like, oh my God, that's so much. But here's the thing. Think about how many when you turn around and you have, you know, $300,000 in 6 months' time, is that worth it? You know, is the return on investment for that worth it? And again, I don't want to say that's the absolute. We need to have that conversation. It's one thing, you know, depending on all kinds of situations. So again, just chat with me. Just come to the chat. Okay? All right. So, producer, anything that I haven't done? Keith is standing back there, you know, just kind of, you know, whatever. Okay. Any other questions? Let's see. What has been your biggest win in the real estate industry? Wow, biggest win in the real estate industry. I would say truly, and this sounds kind of like Miss America answer, but I would say I'm going to answer that personally, but I'm also going to say my biggest win is really being able to coach person after person after person after person. You can still be scared and get rich, because almost everybody that comes in my world is scared to death that they don't know what they're doing and all the things. So then I help them get rich. Over and over, every single person getting multiple six figures in the time we're together and knowing what to do and how to do it from there, and growing and scaling and all the things, that has been such a win for me. I adore it. I am obsessed by it. The other, just personally, you know, in terms of my investments, you know, I took this a few years ago, I took this historic property, and it was so dilapidated that literally it was like 3 sections of, and it was a commercial property. One of the sections had literally like a swimming pool in it because it was leaking so bad, and it was so deep with water. It was like not a swimming pool, a cesspool, right? And so I went to go renovate this property, and the first win of that is the bank knew, oh gosh, okay, I'm being told that I need to shut up. No more questions, guys. I'm having too much fun. I told you I'd talk about real estate forever and ever. I'm going to get done here. I'm being told, get done. So I took the bank came to me, that's the first win, and said, we know you know what you're doing, so will you renovate this building? We want it off our books. So I took it. Then they came and saw what my plans were, and they almost didn't fund it, even though they came to me, because they thought the project was too big. Okay, I took the project, took it on, beautiful. It just changed the entire neighborhood that this commercial property came. Put a restaurant in there, walkable community, you know, all the other things. And that thing went, it probably quadrupled in value, so it was multi-millions. That was one of the biggest wins I had for many reasons. Just the success, the historic renovation, helping the neighborhood, and then making the money. Okay. All right. So thank you all so very much for being with me tonight. We went over how long I was supposed to. I really do need Keith to control me in this because I love talking about real estate. If you want to connect with me, please do. You know, it's the time. Your stocks are dying, you know, whatever's going on there. You want some money. You want to make it 6 figures in so many months. We'll put in the show notes how to get in touch with me, and I'll just look forward to talking with you. And we're going to publish these, you know, segments. I'm not going to go live every time, about once a week. All right. Thank you all for being here tonight, and I so have loved being with you. Thanks.